Assalamu alaikum, family. Welcome to the Sajdah channel. You're tuned in, and we getting ready to work this morning, okay, to cleanse our spirit, cleanse our minds, and jump to another timeline. We got to get off of this wheel we've been on the last couple of months and get back to the business of doing for self. So that's going to be our goal here today. I'll see you in a few. Be a friend and tell a friend. And I'll be right back in a few minutes. All right. See you soon.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who in my judgment is the master historian, taught us that of all our studies, history is the most attractive, and it is best qualified to reward the researcher. History is most attractive. Why should history be most attractive? Because history is the recorded time of the human family in its struggle to overcome obstacles. There is no life that is without struggle. The Holy Quran teaches us that man, meaning man and woman, is made to face difficulties. And after difficulty comes ease. But it is history that guides us through difficulty. For if you know how people who had difficulty yesterday got through, and if your difficulty is somewhat similar, then today we also can get through if we follow the guidance of history. This is why Carter G. Woodson and many of our black giants fought for black people to know our history. Because in not knowing our history, we don't have a guide. And without a guide, we are lost. No wonder the Bible...
Do not let people think you do not belong. Once you sit at these tables with folks with fancy titles and you talk to them and you go, oh, they ain't all that. This idea that somehow they are so special, they're so smart, they're so sophisticated. Not really. They've been exposed. They've been given the confidence of feeling like they belong. But if you sit down and talk to them, turns out, that's my point. And the benefit for Michelle and me, because we came up, and at each stage, you know, you go to Harvard and wow, it's Harvard. And then you find out, oh, Harvard's full of some fools and people that you would not put in charge of anything, but they're there. And there's some really amazing, brilliant people too. And then you go to the U.S. Senate and you look around and everybody's represented, smart people and dumb people, good people and bad people. Now suddenly you're meeting at the group of 7 world leaders are all in a room, or the United Nations. And same thing. Turns out that there's some really smart, amazing world leaders and there's some fools running countries.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're tuned into the Sajdah channel. We are live here from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House, also known as Sajdah House. So welcome, welcome. And that video I just showed you is the reason why I wanted to have this specific talk today. And I actually created that show and put that up before everything went down this week. Okay, because they ain't all that. And I don't mean that in a put down way or in a negative way. I mean that in a way that will help you to see your worth and your value so that we can work on doing for self and walking and stepping up into our greatness. So I want to take a minute before we start to do a little prayer / meditation. Why do I want to do this morning in particular? Because I feel like the last 90 days or so, we've been under a spell. A lot of incantations, a lot of repeating the same thing over and over again, a lot of attempts to hypnotize us and influence our emotions to get us to do what somebody else wants us to do, even if it's not in our best interest. We've been bombarded with that. A lot of people are severely impacted by that. Some of us who say that we are not, we actually are, because the fact that we're saying that we're not over and over again says that we just might be. So it's time for us to cleanse and jump to a new timeline. That's like an energy wheel that is moving and moving. Let's get off of that wheel and get back on the wheel of focusing on self-improvement and doing for self. All right. So we're going to take a moment of semi-silence. I'll talk a little bit and go into our hearts and ask for relief from the sorcery and the spells and the incantations and everything that's been going on over the past 90 days in an attempt, I call it psych ops and mind control, in an attempt to control our thoughts, our choices, and who we are. Okay. And I'm not, and I want you to be very, very clear that I'm not saying anything about one side or the other. What I'm saying is that the technique that is used when people with big influence want to get us to think the way they want us to think, when they want to control our thoughts, when they want to distract us, are incantations, which is repetitive messaging. It's like somebody putting a spell on you, where they got the pendulum swinging and you just watching it, and they're talking and saying the same thing over and over and over again. It's an attempt almost to hypnotize you. And if you know anything about hypnosis, you can see the techniques. Okay. There's also an attempt to use other people to influence you. So people that you might be influenced by already, influencing them so that they influence you. There's another attempt going on of ignoring real influencers and creating new influencers. That's sometimes, I think that's where the gap in one party messed up, because they had people that they wanted to make influencers in our community. And so they put a message on them and they kept talking and talking. And a lot of us are hypnotized. And then, excuse me, the other side of it is that you got people who are major influencers who are not included. Do y'all know who the number one influencers in the world are? It's Black men. Why do you think hip hop is so lucrative and so powerful? Because of the message and the messianic divinity that is inside of Black men who created this culture that has now literally been taken away from their divine message. And don't get, yeah, there's sisters, we in hip hop too, but the real influencers in hip hop are Black men. Okay. All right. So, but I said that to say that you didn't see a massive amount of influence going down into Black men. It stayed up here with people that either are already influencers or that they're trying to make influencers, almost like passing down spiritual leaflets and incantations into the Black male collective to switch and manipulate the emotions to control the thoughts and the actions. And so we all have been under this spell. So let's first, before we begin this talk, and I'm going to go back and show that video from former President Barack Obama when we finish, because we're going to look at it differently. First, let's take 5 minutes. I want you to take a minute to close your eyes, take a deep breath. You can either place your hand on your heart or place your mind on your heart, but go into your heart and just feel your heartbeat and relax. Don't look at me. You should be looking at the back of your eyelids and just relax. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Oh Allah, relieve us from the pressure of the sorcery and the incantations and the spells that have been swirling around our community, around our country the last 90 days. Relieve us of the pressure of placing our mindset in the hands of someone else who doesn't understand us holistically, or who maybe doesn't care about us holistically, or who maybe just have their own agenda and are doing what they can to influence us. Relieve us from that pressure, dear Lord. Deep breath in. Help us, Father, to refocus on your will, on your goal, your desire for us. We're chasing an energy of safety. We're chasing an energy of security. And we know that that safety and that security only comes from you. It begins with you. It flows to us and through us and impacts everything around us. You control. You are in charge. You are the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth. You are the one that sets up our security, that has protected us and never forsaken us and prepared an amazing table for us in the face of our enemies. We've been surviving and thriving for generations, and we're not going to stop today. Deep breath in. Release it. Just release it. Release all the energy. Let it go. Because really what we're all chasing is safety. We're chasing security. We're looking to see and looking deep into the souls of people to see who's going to make us more secure, who's going to make us more safe. Well, that comes from Almighty God, Allah. There is a power greater than all of us that we all must tap into. And we are tapping in that today. And we're asking for your relief from all the sorcery, all the incantation, all the repetitive messaging, all the influences, and help us get about our business of doing for self, building our community, and loving one another. We ask these things in your name. Amen. All right. I want to play this video again. Let me know in the chat if that kind of helped you, but I want to play this video again. Okay. And I want you to look at it differently with different eyes. When I saw this video, it really touched me because it's really the reason why I do what I do. Because I've been blessed to have a seat at a lot of tables. And two things I realized is that for many of us, we don't know what we don't know. So we kind of walk around in this fantasy world and we puff up and we're arrogant, but we don't know what we don't know. And the other side of it is that we don't know what's said at these tables about us. And we don't know that these are regular people just like us at these tables. They ain't all that, as the president says. And that's not a put down. It just means that we are more than what we think we are. We are more than what we act like we are. We are more than the way we represent ourselves. And so it's time for us to step up. Let's step up. Let's take a step up. Take that imaginary spiritual stare in your mind and take a full step up. Take a full step up and let's go to that next level. Because every level you go to that you wanted to get to so bad, you're going to find out that it's regular people sitting there. When I would go to these meetings and go sit at these tables, the person controlling the money is a regular old person. The person making the decision to hurt somebody, send somebody to jail, or give them relief or blessing is a regular person. The person that's sitting there putting together and designing neighborhoods and all of that, they're regular people. They just have an agenda, they have an energy, they have a mindset that they are tapped into. So we too have to come up with our collective, not come up with, that's the wrong choice of words. We have to tap into this collective mindset of unity that's been given to us and find creative ways to express it and to move forward and set our own agenda. Okay, I saw my brother 19 Keys. I want to shout him out. Y'all know I'm all about shouting out brothers and sisters who are like-minded and spirit-minded. Go subscribe to his podcast because I think his talk, it was a face-to-face talk. It was called Why Trump Didn't Win, or What I Always Wanted to Say. And I thought it was a very interesting conversation. And I'm grateful to finally hear more Black men be able to express themselves and speak out because they get left out. And I think a lot of times because we think that companies, campaigns, bigger influencers are using quote unquote influencers, what they're doing is they're trying to make influencers. Because if they were using true influencers in our community, we got people on the grassroots level, grassroots digitally and grassroots physically, and people with millions of views like our brother who I didn't see them talk to. Anyway, this is not about an election. This is about where you and I are right now in our minds, and the fact that we are all walking around like our sense of security and safety is threatened and that there is no solution. But I'm saying that there is a solution. So take a look at this video, okay? And we're gonna come back on the other side. I want you to comment in the chat for me.
Do not let people think you do not belong. Once you sit at these tables with folks with fancy titles and you talk to them and you go, oh, they ain't all that. This idea that somehow they are so special, they're so smart, they're so sophisticated. Not really. They've been exposed. They've been given the confidence of feeling like they belong. But if you sit down and talk to them, turns out, that's my point. And the benefit for Michelle and me, because we came up, and at each stage, you know, you go to Harvard and wow, it's Harvard. And then you find out, oh, Harvard's full of some fools and people that you would not put in charge of anything, but they're there. And there's some really amazing, brilliant people too. And then you go to the U.S. Senate and you look around and everybody's represented, smart people and dumb people, good people and bad people. Now suddenly you're meeting at the group of 7 world leaders are all in a room, or the United Nations. And same thing. Turns out that there's some really smart, amazing world leaders and there's some fools running countries.
All right, so I had to show that again because when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this is why I do this. And let me tell you, some of those regular people, they DM me, they call me and they say, they know me as Wendy. They say, Wendy, what are you doing? You can't do this. You can't give away stuff for free. You can't be talking on this podcast, giving away all the game. Well, part of the challenge is this. Most people don't recognize game. And so I could stand on the mountaintop and give all the game and most people would miss it. But the goal here with this podcast over the years is that you just have a library of information that's going to tell you how to get yourself up out of this marginalized space of insecurity and unsafe mindset. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, business person in Africa, and he said one of the things that you all are always challenged with is that you're always feeling, you all walk around feeling unsafe and insecure. You never know when the rug is going to be pulled out from under you. You never know. You're always looking over your shoulder. He said, you know, that's the thing about America. And I said, well, okay, we clearly have an open enemy to our community that is consistently creating systems and situations that threaten our earthly livelihood. Let me say it like that. But what I said to him was, there's a solution. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us a blueprint. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's been teaching it for years. He gave us a blueprint on how to conduct ourselves, how to think, how to protect ourselves, how to be civilized people, how to tap into a power greater than ourselves so that we are moving and functioning beyond our own intellectual capacity. See, a lot of us want to be so much like the colonizer and be all off in our ego that we want to be smart. I'm so smart. I'm so intelligent. I'm so this and I'm so that. Well, where'd you get the knowledge from? Where'd you get the intelligence from? And look, I've been smart all my life. I was reading at 4. I was doing 5th grade work in the 1st grade, in advanced classes and all that and everything. But that don't mean that you can't get knowledge from somewhere else and that you shouldn't be looking to work and have manifestations in your life that are beyond the limitations of your intellectual capacity. I don't care how bad you think you are. I don't think how intelligent you think you are. Now, see, when you learn to function at that level, then God can bless you with assignments. He can bless you with things to do. He can motivate you and put you in a creative space so that you think like he does, so that your mind replicates the production and the creation of the universe. Huh? Talk to me. so that your mind functions differently other than the programming that is given to you by the society that we live in and the knowledge that they give us to learn. Smart in this society just means that you've gobbled up the information that they have access to and that they've given you. Now, let's go into a divine way of thinking where we practice a certain way of living so that we tap into a lifestyle and a mindset that is beyond our intellectual capacity. And then we will have supernatural results in our life. We won't be walking around all the time acting like everything is a miracle, because things on a divine level will always happen to us. And so we stay in a space of agreement and a space of gratitude. But what happens with these marketing campaigns, these propaganda campaigns, is that there is first a spell and incantations and sorcery that happens that makes you insecure. So words are used to spark thought that generate insecurity, make you feel unsafe. And so now that they've got you broken open in this unsafe, vulnerable space, they can then pour in repetitive messaging over and over and over again. And because you're receiving that repetitive messaging in the space of being unsafe and insecure, you will make a move that is suggested by that information in an effort to feel safe again. Y'all not listening to me. All right, I'll make some notes. Here's the other thing. Why are we saying, here's the other thing. Why are we saying that they ain't all that? Again, smart, based on this world, if you will, or the colonizer's world, or this world that we live in, is not rooted in authenticity. Okay? It's not rooted in authenticity. It's rooted in repetition, remaking. It's rooted in made man thinking. It's not rooted in creative and original man thinking. It's rooted in the way of thought of the made man. When you are a made person, somebody else made you. They programmed you. They gave you your words. They told you what to do. And in that space, you don't go into that creative space. You don't go to your spirituality to come up with an answer. You go to the database of knowledge that they've given you. And just in case you happen to listen to somebody who's authentic, they're going to keep putting information into you so that you constantly feel insecure, unsafe, and you will do what we want you to do. You'll let us take away your rights. You'll let us take away who you are because you just want to feel secure and safe again. Huh? So you see this inauthenticity. You see when campaigns are being run, when companies are using propaganda to sell something, you don't see people being creative when they go out in the public in an effort to influence you. What they're doing is they're being made. They are made people. So these campaigns are taking made people and trying to go and make other people. So they're taking people that they made influencers, and then they're going and trying to make other influencers. They're trying to reproduce the influencer that they've made. And in order to do that, they got to make you and I go into robotic mode. And if somebody comes along and sees the sorcery and sees the incantations and sees your level of insecurity, they're going to come up to you and say, I'm going to make you safe again. I'm going to make you feel good again. I'm going to make you feel better again. And when they tap into that emotion, you don't care what else they say. You don't care what else they say because you just want to feel safe again. You want relief. And when you have been feeling unsafe for a very long time, and somebody comes and tells you, I'm going to make you safe again. I'm going to make you secure again. I'm going to take care of you. I don't care how grown or how big you are. It's fine. So when you got somebody who's a made influencer constantly giving you information, that information doesn't make you feel safe again. That information makes you feel uncomfortable because you just keep hearing it over and over again. It's like you're sitting in a prison cell and over the loudspeaker, they're just playing this messaging over and over and over again. And it's making you uncomfortable. But after a while, your brain gets programmed. It's like hearing a song over and over again. You can hear a song in the morning and have that song playing in your head all day long. And if somebody else plays the song 2-3 more times, you got it. And that's what's looping in your head. So you got this information loop that's going in your head. And when all of a sudden you realize that you have been caught up in a spell, this information loop wasn't real, then you have this emotional response to the letdown. And that's what we're asking Allah to relieve from us today, so that we can think, so that we can tap into and align with his mindset, use our supreme wisdom, get on top of our diets. See, part of the problem and the reason why it's so easy to put a spell on us and use these incantations and sorcerize us is because we are so undisciplined. Let me tell you, a year ago, so I've been in the nation since 1990. This is a little personal confession. Let me get some coffee on this one. I'm proud of this too. I'm not proud of the deviation, but I'm proud of the get back. And for many, many years, when I first came in, I think I was a toothpick because Brother Kamal and some of them used to tease me and say all I ate was broccoli. Because I was eating every other day, and I was eating every other day, 1 meal a day, and fasting a bunch of days. And it was really probably a bit extreme. And then I remember the minister telling us, look, just master 1 meal a day and the monthly fast. And so I did that for many years. And then when I moved to Maryland, I didn't like it there. And I was largely unhappy with the exception of the great work that I was able to do. So I poured my unhappiness and my functional depression into creativity. So we built clinics, hospitals, medical spas. I mean, the creativity was on 10 because I was working to transform energy that I was feeling into creative energy so that I could learn. That was my whole goal. Also in that process though, I got off of my 1 meal a day and gained probably 40, 45 pounds. And so by the time I acquired Sajdah House and got back to Chicago, where I wanted to be, I did not realize how functionally depressed I was and how unhappy I was until I got back And then it took me a minute to go, wait, this is, this is, And so on November 18th this is 2024. So on November 18th of 2023, I told myself, look, I'm going to work on mastering 1 meal a day again, and our 3-day fast. And so for the past year, today is November 8th, I have been doing that. I've had some days where I kind of fell off. I've even had days where I got really busy, and this is where I have to manage it and understand how to make sure that I'm getting myself to that fasting state where I may not eat in the evening because I'm really, really busy. And then I have to get up in the morning and have something. And then that sometimes throws me off. But when I do that, I make sure that I have the right time span between the next time I eat, and try to eat that 1 meal a day between 4 and 6 p.m. as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad prescribed for us. So I started doing all of this in the face of everybody taking Ozempic and all of this stuff. And slowly but surely, I am probably now 42 pounds down. Sister Colliday said to me the other day, she said, you look now the way you look. I forget, she gave a time frame. And I said, you know what? It's not about the look. It's getting back to my discipline. And so in this period of time, so many additional spiritual gifts, so much more of my authenticity have I been able to tap into, my creativity. My relationship with Allah is even stronger and even better. Just getting back to it. I cherish it more now because I realize how that deviation was pinching me off from what I know is right and what I know is good. And so, and here's the thing. Sometimes we get arrogant, right? Especially us spiritual people, because I've always been very spiritual. I've always been up on my prayers and my meditation. If you know me, that's who I am. I'm praying and meditating damn near all the time, every little moment I get. So I've always been up on that. I've always been up on my study. So I've always gotten up in the morning and studied, read the Holy Quran, made sure during Ramadan that I kept up. But that deviation, I realize not only it impacts our health, but it just impacts our overall presentation. It impacts who we are. And so I'm saying that to say that these teachings and this way of life, it works. And some of us have to just start with the 1 meal a day, start there. And if you can't quite, because sometimes some people eat like 5 and 6 times a day. So you might need to, in the morning, have you a little fruit and then eat your big meal between 4 to 6. But you figure out how you need to do it. Get the book. It'll help you understand it. Why am I saying that in the context of this? Because it's easy to get hypnotized away from your divine position. See, the sorcerer, the incantation, the advertising companies, the campaign managers, all of them, they know that you're going to meet insecurity and disappointment in your life. It's just a way of life. You're going to be disappointed. We're all going to be disappointed. We're all going to be insecure at some point. We're all going to feel unsafe. The idea is to not stay there. Let me know. Give me some feedback if y'all feeling this. The idea is to not stay there. But they know it. And so they know that while you're trying to be disciplined, while you're trying to be a good Christian, while you're trying to be a good Muslim, while you're trying to be a good Jehovah's Witness, while you're trying to be a good Buddhist, whatever it is that you do, a good Hindu, that you're going to meet some ratchet people or some people who ain't all that along the way. And if you let those people who ain't all that negotiate you out of your position, then you can't blame anybody but yourself. What do I mean? What happens is, because our self-esteem is so low, I got to lean in for this one. because our self-esteem is so low, and because we don't really believe in ourselves, we don't love ourselves, what happens is this: we make gods besides Allah. We don't seek refuge in him. We make other people gods. So if somebody makes us mad, then we turn away from him, because we've associated other people with our salvation, with our security, with our abundance, with our manifestations. We've associated other people with that. And when those people reveal themselves to us and we learn that they ain't all that, instead of us going and seeking refuge in Allah, we be done with them and Allah. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Many of us, we will walk away from our entire divinity because somebody hurt our feelings, because somebody made us mad. And don't get me wrong, I'm sensitive too. I get it. But what you have to learn how to do is you have to understand that you got to have that spiritual ring of fire around you. Okay? Those beasts don't like that fire. They don't like the light. You also have to sometimes put boundaries around yourself. You also have to look at what that person or what those things are triggering inside of you. And you also have to understand, people, that everybody is at their own stage of development. And you can't tie your development or your belief to their level of development. They are where they are. And you got to let them stay there. If they're dangerous, then you may have to put some borders around you. But you got to understand that everybody's experiencing their version of Earth. And everybody's where they are. And in many cases, folks ain't all that. They're going to do something to disappoint you and to hurt you. So the thing is, stop judging and comparing yourself. Seek refuge in Allah. A lot of us really don't know what that means. The Holy Quran tells us seek refuge in Allah through patience and prayer. But we forget that patience and prayer part. We forget the whole seek refuge in Allah part. We just get disappointed. We get hurt. We drank the Kool-Aid, and then we drank the Kool-Aid and we got drunk off the Kool-Aid. And then we realized when we woke up out of our drunken stupor that we didn't get what they promised us, and we still feeling insecure and unsafe. And so we just go, all right, oh well. Meanwhile, instead of tapping into our authenticity or in our creativity by seeking refuge in Allah, we just keep going, because remember, we've been programmed. When we fell asleep, we were programmed. When they broke us open, they programmed us. When they got us drunk off the Kool-Aid, they programmed us. So when you wake up and you come up out of it, you need to be feeding on something else, so that not only do you get rid of and reprogram yourself, but you're not now moving as the robot that they made you when they put you in that space and put those spells on you. This is real, you know. And I know a lot of people don't like that language: spells, incantations, sorcery. But that's all it is. That's all it is. Saying the same thing over and over and over again, making you feel insecure, so that you open your chest, you give them your heart, you give them what is so sacred to you, your rights, your heart, your vessels, your body. You give them of yourself. You give them your soul, because you feel so unsafe. Why do you feel unsafe and why do you feel insecure? Because you're disconnected from Allah. We're not seeking refuge in Allah. We're not living the right lifestyle. Anytime somebody's trying to influence you and they are twerking, they bring people on stage to twerk, or they talk about collard greens and pork, or they, what I call use race politics or racial advertising. Well, in order to do that, that means that you have to make an assumption about me before you decide that you're going to craft this message for Black women or for Black men or for Hispanics. You got to already make some kind of stereotypical assumption about me before you put that message together. You probably being used too. And I'm not saying this to make you mad at anybody. I'm just trying to break the spell. Snap out of it this morning. Y'all know I can't snap my fingers, but if I could, snap out of it. Let's release that timeline and timeline jump to one where we are doing for self. We are loving ourselves. We're accepting our own and being ourselves. We're putting our own agenda together. We're working to stay disciplined and focused. We're letting go of some of the ratchet behavior that we've been hypnotized to think is okay. We're letting go of some of that. We're going to love life and enjoy ourselves and be happy and smile and take care of each other and unite. Let's get on that timeline. That's the timeline we need to be on. God is in control. God is in control, and we're going to be all right. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat. Let me see. I had 2 quotes I wanted to give you all. One from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said this: don't wait for someone else to do good. You do your part. See, what he's telling you is don't be a robot. Don't be a follower. Don't be hypnotized. Break the spell. Don't wait for somebody else to do good, meaning don't wait and say, okay, I'm going to wait till sister so-and-so or brother so-and-so say it's okay. You don't need nobody's permission to do good. He said, don't wait for someone else to do good. You do your part. See, because when you're doing good, the way in which you do good is also important. See, if you do good and you tear up the structure, that's one thing. But if you do good and you respect the structure that you're in, or the organization that you're in, or the leadership that you're in, you respect it, but you're doing good, then you can defend yourself if those that have a problem with you doing good come against you. And that happens. Some people get mad. They see you looking good, eating 1 meal a day, see your skin cute, and see you losing weight like, ow, and they ain't got no problem reminding you of what you used to look like, what you used to be. No, you can't be out here influencing people. Let me control you. Let me tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it. You're going to have that. But that's a test. That ain't about them. All it says about them is where they are in their space and development and where they are. And anybody's behavior when they cut up like that is just about how they're experiencing Earth and where they are on the scale of evolution. That's it. Just because they may look important and be important, they just may not be as far along on the scale of evolution in certain things. And that's okay. Because what do? We shine light on it by being the clean glass, and we pray for them, and we move around. We're not going to let you hurt us. We're not going to let you disrespect us. We got to put that ring of fire around ourselves, even if we got to keep a little bit of distance. I know for me, I'm so sensitive that I keep a distance sometimes from chaos, and I make a decision on when I can engage in the chaos and when I cannot, because as I grow in my spirituality, my sensitivity has heightened. But I think that now I know better how to handle my sensitivity and how to understand it. For example, if I feel the impact of someone else's actions, it's not personal anymore. It doesn't threaten my safety. It doesn't threaten my security. So you can't really put that spell on me and program me because I'm going to be very clear on where you are because my spiritual sight is a little bit better. And even with the spiritual sight being a little bit better, I'm not your judge. So I'm not judging. I don't compete. I'm not looking to be better than you. If I see you do something good, I'm not getting ready to race and break my neck and break my back so I can try to outdo you. You did good. I'm going to give you your praise and I'm going to be grateful. And guess what? I'm going to thank Allah for how good you're doing because of the example and the motivation that you've given to me and others that I see. But what I'm not going to do is give you responsibility for my soul. Here's the next quote. This is a Tony Robbins quote. Don't let the world create meaning. You choose the meaning. Don't let the world create meaning. You choose the meaning. Again, it's speaking to programming and all of these spells. This is it's advertising. It's marketing. It's PR. All right. I just drank coffee and look what I did. Got it on my commemorative Elijah shirt. It's all right. That's all right. We'll wash it. And I got it on my face a little bit. Make it like a little moisture, like a little makeup edition. Anyway, did y'all get y'all commemorative Elijah shirts? You can use the QR code right there. Let's see if I can let you all see it. Check it out. Isn't it cute? It's so blingy. It's got like black and don't look at the coffee. It's got black and white and silver crystals on it. And you can use the QR code there to get it to help support the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. Going across the bottom is different ways that you can support. If you don't have your membership coin, please get it because it's becoming very clear to me that the messaging that Allah put into me and said, look, make this membership coin because you're going to have a hard way of discerning, how people who's going to have access because you're going to get booked. And there's probably going to be like a couple year waiting list. And we don't pack the place. We're not planning on packing the place when we do tours. There's a limited number of people, at the most 20 to 25 that can tour at a time and be in the house at a time. And then obviously we're not having tours all day and all night long. So, obviously we're going to close like 5 or 6 o'clock. We won't be open every day. So we are going to work on offering some virtual tours, but get your coins so that you can have priority access. And then we're working on some cultural events. We're going to do Civilization Night once a month next summer. And we've got some really fun things planned for those that want to come and learn and have some experiences. And we've got some shows and things like that we're working on. So very excited. So use the QR code if you want to support. If you appreciate this network and what we do, you can go to Cash App, Sajdah Enterprises, or hit the super chat button down there and make sure you support. We all talk about that flow, right? When you receive something, make sure you learn to give something. What you want to create is that energy flow in your life, okay? Don't be insecure and trying to stay safe because when you hold, let me tell you something about money. This is the last thing I'm going to say. A lot of us don't realize that money doesn't have value until it moves. Okay, so if you sit up and hoard, let's say you got $5 million and you're just sitting on it. Let's say it's in several bank accounts. The value of that money is going down the longer you hold on to it. You have to be a smart money manager and make that money move so that its value continues to increase as opposed to decreasing. Because if you just sit it there, it's going to decrease. So you want to figure out different ways. And there's a lot of different ways that are very common, which you can invest your money and use your money so that you return the value of it And I'm not going to say that those things right now. Maybe we'll do a whole show on that. But remember, if you're sitting on the money, it's just losing value. You need to find a way to make a part of it or all of it move, because money only has value when it moves. With that said, that $100 in your pocket only got value when you move it. So moving on over to supporting the Sajdah Network and what we're doing here with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House and all the other platforms. Zachary Muhammad says, stuck money don't make money, has no value. Ooh, Brother Zachary, I love that. Can I use that? I'm gonna start using that. Stuck money don't make money. Yeah, someone saying sometimes our money is stuck because it's stuck in our mindset. We think we just got to be tight. You come around us and stuff's looking raggedy and we think it's cute because, well, I ain't paying that. It costs too much. Well, your money is stuck. It's stuck in your limited mentality, your limited mindset. It can't make money. You have assets. I know people with real estate who won't spend money to improve the real estate because it costs too much. Well, not only are you decreasing the value of your real estate because you're not taking care of it, but you also are losing money because, like Brother Zachary said, stuck money don't make money. So I see you, Sister Betty. Thank you for being here with us. Happy Friday. Hey, Mom. Happy Friday. Thank you. Thank you. Brother Lamont is here. Welcome, Brother Lamont. Good morning. Wa alaikum salam. Let's see who else we got here. Oh, there's a bunch of Facebook users with no identity. So that might be the way it's messing up today. Anyway, somebody said that it's a powerful word using incantations. A couple people said, I think that was after our meditation and prayer. Greetings, everyone. If that's you, just put your name in the chat so I can shout your name out. If you're on Facebook and I can't see you, shout your name out. Greetings from the road. Hey, Regional Sky Girl. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, welcome. Yes, you're right. And the comment of the day from Brother Zachary, stuck money don't make money, has no value. All right, family. Love you all very much. Wishing you more goodness than you've ever received or imagined. And tomorrow we're going to talk, okay? Because you can't criticize a boss unless you've been a boss. We're going to have that conversation tomorrow on the Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talk, where we talk about life, love, and business. So make sure you support Sajdah Enterprises, or you can support via Zelle, wendy100m@gmail.com. If you forget, just go to supportsajdahhouse.com or use the QR code right there in the corner to get your commemorative Elijah coin or your crystal Elijah coin sweatshirt. All right, peace and blessings, family. I'm going to do two things. We're going to go out, but we're going to listen to that video again because I want you all to break the spell today. Snap up out of it. You are bigger and better than what you think you are. Allah loves you. He came all the way here. He's always here. He's with you. He loves you. He's never forsaken you, and he ain't getting ready to start now. So if you're feeling insecure, you feeling unsafe because somebody told you that you should, let it go. Seek refuge in Allah, not in the actions of other people. All right? Because when you get to the table you're trying to get to, you're going to realize, that ain't all that. I got this. All right. Peace and blessings. Look at the video one more time, and then we're out of here for the day. See you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum. Happy Friday.
Do not let people think you do not belong. Once you sit at these tables with folks with fancy titles and you talk to them and you go, oh, they ain't all that. This idea that somehow they are so special, they're so smart, they're so sophisticated. Not really. They've been exposed. They've been given the confidence of feeling like they belong. But if you sit down and talk to them, turns out, that's my point. And the benefit for Michelle and me, because we came up, and at each stage, you go to Harvard and wow, it's Harvard. And then you find out, oh, Harvard's full of some fools and people that you would not put in charge of anything, but they're there. And there's some really amazing, brilliant people too. And then you go to the U.S. Senate and you look around and everybody's represented, smart people and dumb people, good people and bad people. Now suddenly you're meeting at the group of 7 world leaders are all in a room, or the United Nations. And same thing. Turns out that there's some really smart, amazing world leaders, and there's some fools running countries.